What ERA offers to the industry, essentially, we define, establish, and promote highly ethical and professional standards for executive recruitment. Once somebody signs up with ERA, he or she signs up for a certain code of ethics that he or she is going to follow.
Yeah, and it's physically, you physically have to sign that and give it to the ERA committee. We have an ethics chair, which if you are ever found violating the code of ethics and a client complains about you, the ethics chair takes a decision on your membership. And all of this is then made public knowledge within the ERA community. So as a result, you have firms which comply completely to ERA's ethics standards.
So in fact, there's some organizations, I think including Airtel, where we've seen that in the empanelment form they even have started asking you whether you are an ERA member.
Yeah, there are now at least 30 or 40 odd companies across the country, groups, large groups, that are asking you if you're ERA certified.
So ERA certified vendors guarantee commitment to ethics and quality. That's something that we are trying to underline. What ERA offers to the member recruitment firms, because we have a lot of firms that we are looking at bringing on board. First, it helps member firms build their professionalism. We share a lot of best practices across organizations. We advocate on behalf of the collective interests of the member firms and support legislation that upholds the goals of the profession. Okay. Represent the interest of members on key public policy issues. That's another thing that we are doing. In terms of service tax, in fact, I would like to quote a figure. Service tax, I think, recruitment industry is the second largest contributor of service tax to the government of India. Okay. So, there's a place where we can actually, the reasons why we can actually go to, and ask for, better legislation and stuff. Provide a forum for members to share information and work together to advance the interests of executive recruitment. Could be around, looking at blacklisting some, candidates, which, I think everybody keeps on bringing up. It's a common pain, and some other possibilities.
I'd like to add something here. It's legislation. We've done two important things here. One is, and Abhinav, you can probably help with this one. But the staffing firms have had this issue on what should be the amount on which service tax is levied. Right now it's on the total billing, which actually is very dysfunctional. So that's a battle that ERA is fighting on behalf of staffing companies with the ministry. The second one that we've taken up is with the Ministry of Overseas Internal Affairs, because there are now very stringent rules for anybody who does any kind of recruiting overseas, even white collar CEO level recruiting. You have to be registered, you have to submit yourself to an annual audit. You have to undergo some training with NIPM, which is mandatory and fairly expensive. So it's not an easy process, and it's extremely regulated. So we've been attending these meetings with the ministry to exclude ERA members, especially the ones who are working in the white collar area. We've not succeeded, they've not agreed, but we are at it. We're at least trying to at least tell people what they're supposed to do, because we could get into trouble for not complying. And these rules are not very well known to everybody. So we are in the process of talking to the Ministry of Overseas Internal Affairs to ideally get an exemption, if not at least to make it easy for people to comply.
Thank you.
So without further ado, let me introduce the industry experts that we have with us. Amandeep is the Executive Director of HR, Corporate Affairs and Corporate Communication for Sugar. The objective of the group is to grow further and be among the top manufacturing industries in the country. This is directly from your website. In the course of this, the cement business has seen huge growth, and there are a lot of greenfield and brownfield projects that you're looking at currently in terms of expansion. Also, the sugar business, since its commencement in 1994, has grown 3 times in its installed capacity, from one single unit operation to a multi-unit operation. Amandeep is an engineer by qualification and actually stumbled into HR during his days with Balal Post. After a long stint with the paper industry, he moved to Bausch & Lomb as the head of HR. After the taste of multinational life and the consumer healthcare industry, He moved to DCPL as head of human resources and subsequently into the role he is now. So paper, lenses, cement and sugar. He's going to answer questions that you may have about this industry and talent acquisition in these industries in the coming year. Aarti is the head of HR for Yamaha Motors. She's had 2 previous stints with Panasonic and an interim 5-year stint with the Apollo group of companies. An MBA from the Himachal Pradesh University. She is our resident expert on 2-wheelers and on the consumer durable industry. One of the things that I did pick up from your website, which I found very interesting, was that Yamaha will establish itself as an exclusive and trusted brand by customers by creating Kando, which is touching the hearts of people, the first time and every time, with world-class products and services. As I understand, you currently operate from a state-of-the-art manufacturing unit in Suratpur and in Faridabad in Haryana, and produce motorcycles both for domestic and the export market. The workforce is 2,000 people with a dealer network of about 400 dealers across the country. Atanu. Atanu will add spice to this discussion because he's a business leader and the only non-HR person here. A management graduate from the London Business School and an electrical engineer from IIT Madras. Atanu heads business development, marketing and the projects function at Sona Koyo. Today, Sona tops the list in the steering gear driveline products and also exports to the US and to the European Union, something that wasn't happening before you joined. So the company was 100 crores when Atanu joined them, and today it's 800 crores. In his role as head of business development, he has actually helped the company grow from 100 to 800 crores. Prior to which he worked with Schlumberger, and he will field any questions that you have about the electrical engineering and the power systems business, and also talk about the need for talent today in the auto ancillary industry. Vinay is the HR director at Goodyear. 5 years and 7 years with Frito-Lay and Pepsi, where he was last the VP HR for Frito-Lay. Vinay joined Goodyear in 2007, which I believe was a fairly good year for the auto and the